when you look at Target's asset turnover and you compare that to Walmart, Target has an total asset turnover of 2, and Walmart has 2.8. So they're very, very similar. Receivables turnover for Target is 89.48, and Walmart is 87.13. Inventory turnover for Target is 6.74, and inventory turnover for Walmart would be 9.40. And now we get to that PP&E, property, plant, and equipment. Target has 3.26 for property, plant, and equipment, and Walmart has a number of 5.65. And I can tell you right now that when you're talking about property, plant, and equipment, when you're talking about those numbers, those ratios, the higher the number, the better, I believe. Let's see. PP&E turnover is simply the total revenue of the income statement divided by the ending PP&E from the balance sheet. So turning over your sales very often and you're actually making money, that's really, really good, because as we know, property, plant, and equipment depreciates, and you have to reinvest, and sometimes you have to fix a roof, sometimes you may have to buy a new building or something like that. So you want to make sure that you are generating enough revenue to cover your depreciation and all of that. But let's talk about inventory turnover. So as far as inventory turnover, that was 6.74 to 9.40. And inventory turnover is a financial ratio showing how many times a company has sold and replaces inventory during a given period. And sometimes a low number isn't so bad. And the reason why is because prices are expected to rise. If prices, we're in an inflationary environment and prices start rising, then sometimes it's good to have lots of inventory, because suppliers going to go up on their prices, and they're going to pass that price along to the people who sell the things. So you got all these stuff in your all these things in your warehouses, and prices are going up. You can charge more for the same product that other companies are buying fresh, and you make bigger profits. So I really like that inventory turnover. And just because Walmart's is bigger by about 3 points, that's not necessarily indicator that Target is falling behind. Target could just be really, really efficient, or Walmart could be just really, really good at turning over their inventory very often. Let's go back to receivables turnover. Receivable turnover, that's the debtors turnover ratio. And an accountant use it to measure how effective a company is in extending its credit to collect its debts. So basically what that says is you're tracking how much and how fast a company can loan money and then get that money back. And in the business world, when you have an accounts receivable, that means that you gave somebody a product and now you're waiting for them to pay you back. That's basically an interest-free loan, and it generally can take about 30 to 60 days for you to get your money back. And like I said, you're not, as a business, you're not owning interest. You're waiting for this company to sell their product. And if you have a high accounts receivable turnover, that might indicate that a company is really operating either on a cash basis, or that means that they really have their the people who they supply, their supplier, the people who they supply their product to or their service to, are really, really paying them back really, really fast. They're making money hand over fist. So I really like that inventory turnover ratio. And there are actually 2 ways of calculating it. I'm not going to get into that because that is some really, really complex math. It's not really complicated, but it is really one of those financial ratios where if you can't find it using, the the balance sheet and something else, then you can find a number by using essentially algebra, use alpha X. But yeah, that's a little bit more complicated than this show, and I don't have my cool amber beverage right next to me right now, so